Yo, Thought Warriors, what is up? It is I, Van Lathan. It's time for Higher Learning.
And it's me, Rachel Lindsay. Swear sometimes, Van, I'll be like, wait, are you going to introduce me too?
No, I'm not going to introduce
Van Lathan is Higher Learning. So this weekend, you guys.
I don't speak for you. Hey, what's up with your bandana? You tripping?
This is black.
Yeah, but some is you realize that it's not just blue. Different sets have different colors of
well, I'm not well versed in it. Excuse me, but this is my new mask.
Ooh.
Right? It is dope.
That is kind of tight.
Yeah.
You look like a femme fatale. Just to let you guys know, if you're not watching it, the mask looks like a bandana, but then it comes up and over the ears. I'm sure you guys have seen them. It's kind of tight. Where'd you get it?
I don't know how to say the brand's name. Zadig and Voltaire.
Oh, I know it. Yeah, just and Voltaire. Yeah, I got sent some stuff from them because people used to send.
You are such a name dropper.
Why? It's not true.
Yeah. They sent me some stuff from there.
No. Not them directly, but people send assorted boxes of stuff. And then when they send it, like, it'll be different brands that'll be in there. Oh, I have an announcement to make.
Please.
It's an announcement that I'm going to make with this piece of orange in my... I am retiring the use of the N-word on the podcast.
Whoa, who got to you?
It's true. Somebody, I'm going to leave this a mystery. Okay? I'm going to leave this a mystery. But it's somebody that's very influential in the media space that said there's really all the other curse words, because they heard both this podcast, both the Parents Podcast and some other ones. All the other curse words, they go, the N-worded, if it were a different podcast, yes. But in this particular podcast, they're like, the N-word is not quite, it's jarring in the podcast that you're doing.
It is.
You agree? Then why don't you ever say anything?
Because you wouldn't have stopped if I would have said something.
That's not, we could have had a whole seat. This is the problem.
When I talk to you, it's different. When I listen to it back, it comes out in a different way. Was the person black or white that said it to you?
Now, you know damn well. Rachel, smack yourself. Rachel, you know damn well. There's
of course I know.
Goddamn way. This story would have went a completely different way. Yo, who the fuck? What? Did you pay your reparations this month before you talk to me? No. Of course they were black. Of course. You know damn well.
But your reaction is everything I wanted.
Right. Yeah, you trolled me. You baited me into. Good job. That's a good one. That's what I'm talking about. Like, that's how I know that Big Rach is coming into her own as a troll, just like her brother.
As a troll.
Because you know good damn well. How was your weekend today?
Well, there's only so much you can do now since LA. Right. I mean, I was at the hair salon when she goes, I am making an appointment. 2 weeks from now. Hey, I want to come back in. She goes, I just got the notice. We're getting shut down. We got 48 hours to shut it down. It was kind of cryptic, confusing. Like there was an option. I'm not quite sure. The order's confusing to me. Anyways.
Right.
So, I mean, there's really not much you can do. So I just took the opportunity to enjoy quiet time, get my affairs together. I watched the fight. I had to watch it on my computer because Spectrum wasn't acting right. That was annoying. But I just chilled. I really didn't have an eventful weekend. Honestly, I'm getting a little sad, Van. I mean, I've kind of been sad, but because of everything that's going on, like we had a family meeting. Mm-hmm. We're so Cosby kids. We're so Cosby kids. We had a family meeting because we're trying to figure out Christmas. Mm-hmm. We're trying to figure out traveling for the holidays and what that looks like. And the more we talk about it, the realization is we're not going to be together. That's sad. I haven't seen my family in a year, and I'm just very torn about traveling back to Dallas. So that kind of was a damper on the weekend.
Yeah, look, I can imagine. Your dad is a barrel of laughs. So I can imagine a Christmas without Judge Lindsay. It must be like not having Clark W. Griswold. I can just imagine. No, I'm joking. Yeah, obviously. Yo, I mean, look, I've been very forthright about sort of what's going on a daily basis with me. I wake up and from about, I'd say 6. Okay, so I wake up every day. Talk about being sad. I wake up every day and from about, I'll say 5 a.m. to 10 a.m., it's really bad. I mean, like, I've upped the therapy to daily now. And so for about 5 p.m., 5 a.m. to like 10, it's really bad. Like crying. I don't know if I can do this. Then I start to come out of it, you know. Then I run, then I meditate, and then towards the end of the day, I'm feeling somewhat normal until we got to do it all over again. And it's just like, yeah. And so the only reason why I say that is because, you know, when you say that you're sad because you're not getting to see your family for Christmas, you're not saying that you're sad because you didn't get a good grade on the chemistry exam or you didn't get the big interview that you wanted. You're not seeing the group of people that you love at the time that your body tells you, your soul tells you that you should be with them. So it's just hard. I completely, identify with it.
It's hard when you feel like the reason that you're not going to go see them is because you're trying to do your part for the greater good.
Right.
And then I watched my hometown this weekend and people are out maskless, enjoying a fight, just for pleasure, posting their pictures. They're showing people on camera, Terrence Crawford sitting in the audience, no mask, and it's just tough because it's like you're doing what you're supposed to do, but other people aren't. And for that reason, it messes with what you're trying to do, but also like my sanity, my sanity at the same time. I said it. I said, if I can't go home for Christmas, I'm not going to be okay.
Right.
But I didn't think that was really going to happen. And now that it is looking like it's happening, I don't know.
It's tough. So here's the thing. I was talking to my therapist and I was talking about the fact that there are times in life where I wish I was a simpler guy. And she was like, how do you mean? She was like, well, I can't imagine some people that I know having some of the issues that I have because something would happen to them and they would ignore it. They would ignore it. They would ignore it. Like, you watch that Lance Armstrong thing. I wake up with a sore lower stomach for 2 days. I'm headed to the oncologist. Lance Armstrong, like I told you guys before, had to spit blood before he went to go check on himself, right?
Yeah.
And there's sometimes that I wish that resilience or that sort of blissful ignorance was alive in me, even though it's obviously not. So when I watched the fight and I saw all those people in the crowd, I was like, yo, in a small way, I was kind of like envious. I was like,
I get what you're saying.
I mean, and this is not, look, I got the mask. Right now, I'm eating an orange and I drank the orange juice. We going overboard. Staying home, doing all the right things. But it's somebody right now throwing dollar bills at somebody in Miami or Atlanta and stuff like that. And sure, a lot of people are going to get sick and it's going to do irreparable harm, but it just looks slightly enticing from your bunker sometimes. From your hole. But I don't want to be one of them. Right. And I'm not saying that anyone should be one of them. And by the way, speaking of this, I know you guys saw the pictures of James Harden at Lil Baby's birthday party in Atlanta, no mask, no anything like that. If you guys don't know the backstory, James Harden, player for the Houston Rockets, is trying to leverage his way out of Houston, forcing the team to trade him. And so he kind of indirectly trolled them, not directly, if you ask me, by posting pictures of him at Lil Baby's birthday party, no mask, no anything like that. I got to say, that's the lamest shit that James Harden has done in a long time.
Mm. Speak
I
on
mean,
it.
like, James Harden, good guy. You know, for the most part, he likes to have a good time. But you never hear anything really, really bad or dangerous about James Harden. That's the most dangerous thing he's ever done. I'm not with the, oh, you got to live your life through this and this and that. But the reality is that there are going to be people who look at James Harden and see who James Harden is and the example that he's setting
That's
when
it.
he's out there being that type of reckless, and they're going to think it's not going to be a bigger deal. And that's going to end. That's going to end with a fucking tombstone somewhere.
Yeah.
For somebody else. Like anytime you go out there and you do those things, like I said before, I can understand the urge to. But if you're going out there and you're doing that, it is not just potential, but likely that you are killing people.
Exactly. That's the anxiety that I can't let go of.
Right.
If I go and do it, I might be fine. And I might never know what I contributed to. But the thought of I could be carrying it, I could give it to somebody who ends up sick and possibly dies. That to me is what I go through mentally, which is why I can't do it. But James Harden, like, I mean, you gotta, and let me ask you this. Did James Harden additionally go out and then post it on his social media that he was out and about, or did someone catch him?
No, he posted it on his social media. Now, what James, look, there are two different sides to this. What James is doing, in a way, just basically has to do with the fact that he no longer wants to play in Houston.
That's not the way to do it.
But, I mean, look, in a regular sense, it would be.
Just don't show up. Just don't show up.
In a regular sense, it would be a smart move if you didn't want to play there anymore, not just to not show up, but then to sort of embarrass the franchise by being seen somewhere else, thereby forcing them to, that's just the dirty business of sports. In this particular situation, there's an extra added public safety concern that goes along with the actions that he was flaunting. And like, I just wonder, and it has nothing to do with anything moral. It doesn't, I'm just a pussy, I guess, because I'm actually scared. I'm being for real. Like, I'm actually afraid of leading people to die. Like, I'm afraid.
That makes you considerate of humanity for the public health of other people. That'll make you a pussy just because you want to do the right thing. Ooh. So that makes them not that. That makes them hard because they want to go out here and be reckless and are so selfish that they can't sit out a few parties for the greater good. Yeah. Like, that's not,
By the way, did you see what James Harden gave Lil Baby for his birthday?
Was it a bag?
It was a bag, of money and honey buns. Like, he's
really.
Whack. You think James Harden is whack? I love James Harden. I think James Harden
on the court
cool.
or off the court.
Look, I mean, there's nothing wrong with him off the court. James Harden does what he does. Like, to me,
I just think that's lame. That's whack to me.
To give the gift itself or the no mask stuff?
Well, the no mask is its own story. The gift, honey buns and money in a bag. Who is Lil Baby to you?
That's his man. Are you not a good gift giver?
I'm not that kind of gift giver.
But also think about it.
Wasn't it $300,000?
It was a lot of money. See, but look, this is unfair. I'll tell you why. Because George Clooney, it was reported some weeks ago, gave all of his homies like $1 million each or something like that.
Right, 14 people, $1 million each.
And everybody was like, oh my God, what a great guy. James Harden.
I think there was more depth behind it, like when he told the story, like the way he invited them out, and he was like, no, seriously. And it was more of like, these were his childhood friends. They had supported him through life, and he wanted to do something for them. Maybe I'm assuming the wrong thing. I don't think that's Lil Baby for him. I don't think I mean. Now
you trying to tell people how close James Harden and Lil Baby are?
Listen, the theme here is it whack or not? I personally think it is.
I don't have a problem with the gift.
I wish my man would give another man $300,000 and some honey buns.
What if it was another woman?
In a purse.
What if it was another woman? Forget about being a man. What if it was a woman?
Oh, come on now.
So
you gonna give another woman $300,000? Who is she?
I mean,
who is she?
It's friends. Brian's allowed, I would assume, to have female friends.
Of course. I don't play that game.
Right. So then Can he get them nice things?
For what?
For their
$300,000?
birthdays.
$300,000? He absolutely cannot.
What if he was worth $500 million?
For what? Why are you giving this person? It depends. Okay, let me take that back. If it's a friend who's, like been there with you through thick and thin and they are in need.
Right.
In need, keyword, then sure. And we can afford to give it away. Notice I said we. Then sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Put you like this. Let's say Brian's super rich and you guys become friends with Jennifer Lopez and Alex Rodriguez.
They don't need our money.
But you can't, but look, like in that type of situation, it's a celebrity thing. They probably would you have a problem with him getting J-Lo?
I think J-Lo and A-Rod would never want us to give them $300,000. I feel like if somebody wanted to give me that money, I would be like, you know what? Can you donate that to frontline workers? Can you donate that for like PPE? Can you give back? That's what I would say. I'll keep the honey buns and the purse. But can you give the rest of the money away? Because I don't really need it. Right? I'm sure they took that money and went to V Live that night. So maybe they did give back. They gave back to strippers.
They did. Well, they were in Atlanta, so it probably might.
Oh, they were in Atlanta?
Yeah,
okay.
So it probably wouldn't have been V Live.
No. I'm sorry. I thought they were in Houston.
Yeah. Or maybe I was wrong. Maybe they were in Houston. I don't know. Wherever they were. I think it was Atlanta, but it could have been Houston. I don't know. Here's the thing. Look, whatever you're gonna do, I think we all have had our priorities shifted. I think it's just really important right now to keep your eyes on the bigger picture. I know in the past, athletes have been criticized, celebrities have been criticized for not keeping their eye on the bigger picture. But that was the bigger picture when you're setting like examples on, excess and wealth and superficial shit and stuff like that. The bigger picture now is just straight up living and dying. That's the bigger picture. And that's the entire thing right now. It's the entire thing. It's just living or dying. Who's going to live their life? Who's going to pass away? I'm reading these horrific stories, and God knows I should stop reading them.
Yes. Why are you doing that?
Yeah, just like, God knows I should stop reading them. But I'm reading these horrific stories about people, because most of us know people who have been sick with COVID. Not a lot of people know intimately someone who has died from COVID. But for every person that doesn't know anyone that's died from COVID, there's somebody that has lost dozens of people. All right, I have a friend that lost, listen to this. I have a friend who has lost 93 people.
Shut up.
93 people.
Oh my God.
From COVID.
Family and friends?
Family and friends from COVID. 93 people. So, it's important that we keep our eyes on that. And that's not as being a celebrity or being anything else. That's being a member of the human community.
A decent
that cares.
person.
Just try. I get it. I get the want, but
it also is it's people dying, but people also just suffering who are living. People who want to die because of what COVID has done to their current situation. People who are struggling with their mental health. People who have committed suicide. People who have lost it all and have nothing because of the effects of COVID. COVID isn't just affecting lives. And people who die, it's also affecting the living. So to me, that's how you have to look at it as well. It's people that you see passing the street that are being affected by this. Or like your friend who's lost 93 people. How disrespectful is that to them?
Yeah. We just all got to do better, man. We just got to hold on. I know that everybody's getting exhausted with it. I know it's hard to talk about it every single day. We got to hold on. We got to hold on, man. Like, especially during the time that we're in right now, we just have to hold on. I want to say something real quick to you. Are you in trouble? You're in trouble. You're in trouble.
I haven't done anything. So
you just said the P word on this podcast.
Pussy?
Yeah, you're in trouble. You think you're gonna have to tell it to the judge. That's what you're gonna have to do.
Well, you realize you said it first.
Don't matter.
I just repeated what you said.
Don't matter. I know how that goes. He's gonna say, so if Van jumped off a bridge, would you jump off the bridge too? I raised you better than
I'd at least look over and see what was on the other side.
It's true.
That's what I did.
Look, you're invited to my house for Christmas, and I gotta tell you something. If you
and
want,
Copper,
of course, Copper, Copper the wolf. He looks like a wolf. To this point, a development happened a couple of days ago.
Okay.
So my mother, Crystal Ellis. Ooh, she would be pissed. Crystal Ellis. Let me get that woman her maiden name back. She took that name back. You know how Tina Turner was like, I'll do everything. I just keep the name. My mom was like, you did it just like she did it in the movie too. Keep the name. That's exactly how she did it, Rach. But
it's a movie I've seen.
My mother was like the opposite. Nigga. Oh, I said the N word. I'm sorry, my bad. My mother was like, hey, take your name. Come get this name. So she is now Crystal Ellis again. She's like, come get this name. What I gotta go to the DMV? I'm there. I gotta go to the post office? I'm there. Come get this name. So my mother was talking about, she's like, I'm coming there for Christmas. I'm like, no, you're not. You can't come for Christmas. And she was like, son, I'm coming for Christmas. You can't tell me anything. Like, you're struggling, things are happening. Like, I'm coming for Christmas. I'm like, no, you can't come. And I'm like, you can't fly. There's no way you can fly. She's like, oh, we're going to drive. So my 65-year-old mother, 64, I don't know why she asked the year, and my 82-year-old grandmother.
Both are coming.
They are driving. Now, I, just to let you guys know, am totally against this, but I have no say. They are doing it. They know my address and they're coming out here. The only thing I can do is make this trip as comfortable for these two elderly women as possible. So I got to rent the nicest, biggest, roomiest cars. I got to plot out the route so they can stay in some hotels. And I'm going to pay one of my homeboys $1,000 to ride with them out here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then I'm going to put him on a plane back. I don't care if he gets sick. I'm going to put him on a plane. I'm going to put him on a plane. He's young and strong. He'll be fine. Like, I'll put him on a plane back, or maybe he could stay through the holidays, or maybe drive back with them, or whatever. But they're going to be out here. So if you want.
That's beautiful. They're cooking.
They're cooking. If you don't have your family, we're going to limit this to 6 people.
Okay.
6 people. And I'm sorry, a COVID test is going to be necessary before I put you around my mother and my grandmother.
Absolutely. Okay. My only thing is Brian. Because we're not going to be apart. Whatever we do, we're going to be together. So he'll have to I get tested regularly, but we'll see. I will keep you informed. I appreciate the invite.
Yeah.
Now, are they cooking? Oh, wait, no, gumbo. Are they going to make gumbo?
Yeah, they're going to make gumbo.
Oh, I'm definitely coming.
Of course they're going to make gumbo.
I'm definitely coming.
That's like, that's the whole function of them coming out here. If my mother was saying, like, yo, like, I'm coming out here, but I'm not making any gumbo, I'd be like, Mom, really, it's too dangerous to come. I forbid you to come for sure. I'm not going to pay for anything. But when she threw the gumbo in, I was like, oh, maybe so. All right, let's take a break. All right, big moment. Big moment in higher learning history. We have the current reigning queen of network television. Okay? We have a huge, huge, huge new celebrity in my life, new celebrity to the world, joining us right now on higher learning. We have Tayshia, the current Bachelorette, Shake It Up Palm Springs, joining us today. As you guys know, I am a brand new initiated batch. This is my first season watching The Bachelorette. And this is as far as actual Bachelorette, this is my first Bachelorette we have here on Higher Learning today. Tayshia, give it up for Tayshia, everybody.
What about Rachel?
See, now you're getting the dynamic of this show.
Tayshia. I love it.
Well, Rachel, you were the Bachelorette. When I said it's my first Bachelorette, I mean as a viewer. Claire was on there for a hot.
That's okay.
Right,
There's shade there. That's okay. Go ahead. I'm excited for you. This is a big moment for the show. It's a big moment.
I'm so excited to be here. Thanks, guys, for having me.
It's a lot of fun. So I've been watching the shows. Okay.
Tell me what you think.
There's 2 things that I think. Okay. Well, the first thing was that when I've made a point on the show to tell everybody how much I despise Chip and Dale, the Rescue Rangers, Claire and Dale. Like I didn't dig them. Not in a personal way, but in a way of that much attraction can be annoying. Okay, they just were all over each other. When you came in, it was a curveball in the show, and Rachel told me about this, being that it became a more traditional Bachelorette show. My question is, for you, knowing everything that had happened prior to you getting there, did you feel the need to shake it up or act in any other way or bring balance back to the show? Did it change the way you would have approached being on the show had you been in Claire's situation initially?
I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't know much about what was going on. So I didn't know how the guys are feeling. I didn't know what they had experienced. I didn't know how many dates they went on. I knew nothing. I just knew that Claire had found her person. And it was just an opportunity I've been given. So I was just me. That's all I was.
You know, a lot of people, Tayshia, feel like it was unfair. Like we supported you. We were excited for you when you were announced, and that hasn't changed. But a lot of people were like, sis, don't you think it's unfair that Tayshia has to come in mid-season? And I'm like, no, I don't feel that way at all. I'm interested for you, how you felt about that. And do you feel like did you feel like maybe I won't have enough time to really develop a strong relationship with any of the men?
I mean, obviously it kind of sucked not to be announced the way every Bachelorette has been announced, or not to experience all of that excitement beforehand. Because when I did get the phone call, I left, quite soon after, and I didn't really get like that. It happened so quickly. I didn't really have a moment to sit back and be like, okay, this is what's happening. I'm thinking this way. I'm feeling this way. I was in it, and it was just me. So that part kind of sucked. But other than that, I'm so happy it happened the way it did. I wouldn't change it for the world.
So are the men.
Interesting.
They are.
So when you got there, you had one less guy there, because Dale was gone.
Yeah.
You've seen Dale. You've seen the way Dale has been. I'm interested to know that had Dale been there, do you think that Dale would have been high up on the list of guys, knowing what you know about Dale?
You are so messy.
I'm not being messy at all. I'm asking.
I actually kind of want to know too.
Yeah, everyone asked me this.
Do you think that, are you in any way salty that you didn't get a crack at Dale?
I didn't even see much of Dale. I think that the qualities that I did see about him, like rushing to her side to making sure she was okay, and like just being like a really good, strong figure for her to lean on, is a very attractive quality. But at the same time, a lot of the men that I, was dating did exactly that to me. So I really can't say like I wish Dale was there, because I didn't experience that.
You have said before in prior interviews that you wish Claire had warned you about some of the men. Now that we're midway through the season, who are you referring to? And are any of them still there?
No, I think I broke up with most of them at this point. I don't think it was like one person in particular that I'm just like, I never wish I'd met him. No, like there's just some qualities that like just like this petty boy drama that's going around. Like, I wish it would have been cool to know, like, like this guy, he just likes to start drama. Like, this guy's not very serious. Like, this guy likes to be the clown of the group. Like, nothing crazy. But I wish it would have been cool to get a little heads up. But I think I'm a pretty good judge of character, so I figured it out quite quickly.
To that point, I gotta tell you who my favorite guy on the show is.
Who?
I'm not even. It's not even close to me, and I feel like, I gotta be honest with you, he's kind of getting a raw deal from you. I got a bone to pick with you.
Oh no!
I feel like the obvious El Cream of El Crapio in this situation is Bennett. I feel like Bennett is an absolute G. Bennett, like, let me tell you something. Bennett is giving, sharing. He's a smart man. And so what? So what? He has a little static with somebody. That should show you that he doesn't back down to anybody. Like, what's this thing? Why aren't you and Bennett hitting it off more? Like, what can Bennett Nation, forget about Bachelor Nation. Okay. I'm the head of Bennett Nation.
He is.
What can Bennett Nation expect going forward? Are we going to be pleasantly surprised? Or are we going to be throwing dartboards at you, throwing darts at a picture of you on a dartboard? Like, what's going to happen?
You're just starting to see the conversation between him and Noah. So I think after tonight's episode, you tell me how Bennett Nation is feeling. Like, I think that he shows some colors about him that I am not really a fan of. Oh, did I hit a nerve? This is the thing. I have a problem with the way that people talk to other people at times. Mm-hmm. If you're going to be condescending to people just because, I don't know, you might have a higher education, that doesn't mean that someone else should be like talked down upon. Mm-hmm. You might, think that you're better suited for someone. That doesn't mean that somebody else doesn't have a chance. And I think that who are you to tell somebody that they're not good enough? So, and if you're willing to do that,
I don't like the way this sounds.
I don't like the way it sounds.
Yeah, if you're willing to do that blatantly in front of other people, like how do you talk to other people? You know what I mean? When it's just you and that person, like I don't know. So just wait till tonight's episode, I guess, and then you tell me.
But are you okay, Van? Are you gonna be okay?
No. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I tell you what,
I can't wait.
This better go my way, or I'm gonna start a Facebook group. I can tell you.
Tayshia, it's no secret that I've been such a huge proponent of diversity on the show, which is, you would have been an outstanding pick outside of being a woman of color, but you are, which makes it even more exciting for me as a former lead and then also as just a fan of watching the show. So I want to clarify some things because I feel like there's a lot of talk. So when you do interviews, like obviously I was the first Black Bachelorette, and then you'll do interviews and then people will say to you, you're the second Black Bachelorette. And then you'll actually correct them. And so I really want to give you the platform because I did an article on it before, but I want you to be able to speak on it about how you feel with that title versus what you really want people to say and then why that's important to you.
Yeah. I am the first biracial African-American and Mexican Bachelorette. And I think that that's amazing. And I want that to be recognized because I think that's a mix that is out there and that a lot of people want to identify with. And that's not always shown on television. So why can't I want to speak for both minorities and show them that I'm here for them. So I am African-American and Mexican, and I like to be referred to as that.
Now, because we all family here, we're all family here.
Okay.
I can tell you right now that there are Black people who are going to be upset and going to feel a certain way about that answer. Years ago, in some conversation, Tiger Woods referred to himself as Caucasian or something like that.
That's because he made that shit up. That's why people felt that way. It's a true thing.
I get it. But I guess what I'm saying is, do you get the fact that when people see you, they see a beautiful Black woman, and sometimes it seems to Black people that our Blackness is never enough. They want to identify with you as a Black woman. They want you to claim your Blackness and say, yo, I'm Black. And do you understand why people would hear you say that and then be upset by it, being that it seems that anybody who has our skin tone or looks like us suffers the same exact perils that we suffer, that they will want you to kind of opt into your Blackness and not mishmash it up a little bit.
I understand that completely. But then I also look at the other side of the fact is that I am also Mexican. And then it's really nice to be able to identify with those people as well. Because I've actually, this past weekend, I was on the NAACP panel for the visual arts panel. Sure. And I had said that it was amazing to be a biracial woman on television at the moment. And I got so many DMs saying from women that are biracial, but specifically Mexican and something else, saying I am so happy that you're speaking up and you're claiming that you are Mexican, because not many people say that they're Mexican and something else. They just kind of identify with the other race of what they look like. And I understand that as part of the African-American community, it would be nice if I was identifying with that a little bit more, but I did that actually up until, I don't know, maybe in high school. It was when I really felt the need to start identifying with also being Mexican.
What made you change, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, okay, so I had said this earlier, but I think like in school, like when you take like those skin or those those testing, and you're trying to pick with which ethnicity you are. They don't always say like you're this and that, this and that. You usually pick one and you can pick other. So for so long, I've always just identified with being African-American because the other was not something I could always like check. So I've always just said, yeah, I'm African-American. But then there was like a point like, I'm so like proud of my Mexican heritage and like half of my family that's in Mexico. Like I have an uncle that's a priest in Mexico. I have an uncle that's a senator in Mexico. Like I'm proud of them and I want to claim that as well. So, I mean, I understand both sides of the conversation, but.
There you go.
I think it's important, Tayshia, for you to distinguish because so easily people want to put us in a box of you're this or you're that. And so I think it's important that you do push the conversation of saying, I am Black, but yes, I am also Mexican at the same time. And I think it's important to keep having that conversation because so often people want to assume what you are or put you or hold you to a certain standard. And you shouldn't have to do that. But I also think it is, but then that makes it's more on you because Black people are going to want you to represent for them.
Don't forget about us, sister.
And Mexican people are going to want you to represent for them as well. So it's great that I think that you're saying, hey guys, I'm both. But, also it's going to be a lot on you because so many people are going to be looking to you for representation.
But most people just like assume that I'm just African-American. And when I say that I'm also Mexican, they're like, wait, hold on, what? And I love that. I love that, I'm a mix that you don't really expect, I guess. Like people are always like, you're a mix of something, I just don't know what it is. And I love that I'm able to clarify that. I don't know. I identify with both of them. And I think both of them are very beautiful.
Represent. Yeah.
My cousin, my first cousin is half white. And you don't think about it, right? So I remember, I'll never forget this. As a kid, I'm over at his crib. He says that his cousins are going to come over and bring over a video game. And I'm like, okay, it's cool. Well, I get to meet your cousins, Cousin, when I grew up, is another word for Black person in your family. That's what cousin meant. His cousin comes to the door, and it's a white dude. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, this is my mom's sister's son. I'm like, yeah, dog, but he white. How could he be? You know what I mean? But there's a whole different side to this world. So look, I'm with it, sister. You have to define you. Just don't forget about us because we need the representation. All right. So beyond the show. Actually, no, before I even get to that question, this is my last question. Let's say you were going to pick 5 guys that were going to be on The Bachelor for you. 5 guys in celebrity world.
This is a good question.
5 guys in celebrity world. Let's say you were going on The Bachelor. You're going to be able to pick 5 guys who would have been on your season of The Bachelor. 5 celebrities.
Okay.
Tayshia, who would have been the 5 celebrity Bachelorette off for you? Who would have been the 5 guys?
Okay. Like Liam Hemsworth.
Okay. Thor.
Michael B. Jordan.
Wait, which one is Liam?
Liam's a taller.
Is that Miley's guy?
Yes.
Okay.
Miley.
Okay. So Liam, Michael B. Jordan, because like, obviously.
Right.
I haven't really thought much about this. Who else do I find really, really attractive?
Just reflex.
Didn't they ask you this? Because, well, I guess it was a little different from how you came in, but usually they'll say, what's your type? Who are you interested in?
No,
So you didn't get that.
You don't understand. Like I think when so many people are like, you should have thought about this stuff. Like you guys don't understand. Like I literally was at home, like everybody else, eating donuts in my bed, and then I got the phone call. Okay, like I was not thinking about falling in love. I was thinking about falling in love with my Postmates man because he kept bringing me donuts every week. But that's all like I had in my mind. Like it wasn't. My headspace was not there. I mean, it was quarantine. So obviously I didn't think I was going to fall in love in like 2020, like, or have the opportunity to like date 20 guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Liam, Michael B. Jordan, just give me one more. Think of one more.
Who else do I find really, really attractive? Well, aside from, I can't say Matthew McConaughey because I always say him, but he's married. So like, that's not possible.
That's okay.
That's
you
okay.
Can say him.
You can say him.
Say somebody married.
I married him in high school. I had a high school marriage project and I married him. So
there you go. Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
So those are 3 guys. I would love to see that. Just those 3 guys. I think Mike.
Who you putting your money on? Who you putting your money on then?
Mike, man. If you ever been around Mike, it's weird.
He's suave.
It's not even. It's like I was at a party once, and Mike shot me a head nod, and the girl next to me thought that he was giving her the head nod.
Oh my gosh!
It was the funniest thing in the world. And like she freaked out. Anyway, Tayshia, I am very happy for you. Things are going so well. Hopefully we can still be friends after Tuesday night because
I'm expecting to hear from you. Don't forget.
You're in the family now. You're in the higher learning family.
Higher learning family. Continue to do your thing. Define yourself for yourself. We will be watching the show, doing a recap every single week here on Higher Learning. Tayshia, thank you for joining us today. It was a delight.
Yes, thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye, girl.
All right, so I saw a fascinating piece of video that has made its way around the internet now, but that we have to talk about. And I don't know if you guys have seen it, all different flavors and cultures here on Higher Learning, but the video itself was phenomenal. It's a video of a guy named Kevin Samuels, who I guess he is some sort of relationship expert type of guy. And he has a show where he talks about, different aspects of people's relationships and different aspects of women trying to get men, men trying to get women. And he went viral for some of the comments that he made to a woman. Do we have any of the audio?
The advice is, ma'am, you're average looking at best.
I'm taking it in, but...
Okay, but you're not accepting the fact that, okay. Average looking women. Average looking woman who's older. Average looking older woman with a 13-year-old son.
And wait, so you have to understand. So you hear him talking to her like that. First of all, she sat there and she took that.
Mm-hmm.
The entire time. She was a woman. She's from North Carolina. She called up. She said that she wants a man that makes 6 figures. And Kevin Samuels was telling her that she's not pretty enough for a man that works 6 figures, that she has a kid, and that she's too old. And he went through these things over and over and over again, just destroying this sister.
Yes.
Telling her that she should lower her standards. What did you think of the video, man? He went viral. Everybody, by the way, there was 2 sides of this argument. One side of the argument was that he should not have been speaking to her like that. The other side of the argument was that he shouldn't have been speaking to her like that, but he had a point.
Okay. First of all, this man, Kevin Samuels, this woman should be ashamed of herself for even calling into his show, because it seems like, and I've never heard of him up until this point, but it seems like this isn't the first time he's made some outrageous comments like this. So why would you even put yourself in a situation for this man to tear you down? This man has some deep-rooted self-hatred issues, I feel, towards Black women. Not women, Black women. The way he sat there and tore this woman down repeatedly. You made your point the first time, okay? But you had to keep telling her that she wasn't getting it, to the point where you start calling her out of her name, calling her a broad, and then hanging up on her before you curse her out as well. This woman came to you, and I have a lot of girlfriends who like to seek advice from men. I don't think that that's a bad thing, right? Like sometimes your homegirls just don't get it, and maybe you can get a better perspective from a man because they can tell you what the men are thinking. This man decided to tell her. First, he set her up because he said, rate yourself, which I actually appreciated that the woman said, you know what? I'm not going to come out here and say a 10. Wait. Did you find it interesting that he goes, don't say 7?
Because everybody says 7. He said, rate yourself from 0 to 10. You can't use 7. So that forces you to say either I'm attractive, 8? which would be attractive, or 6, which I'm after. So he's not giving you, I actually like that. He's not giving you the opportunity to say, I'm a 7. No, you're either an 8 to a 10 or 6 or below, which means either you know you got it or you know you don't.
Well, she was very honest and she said, I am a 5 without makeup, and with makeup, she bumped herself up to a 6. So he goes, great, you're average. You're average at best. I thought the fact that she was very honest about that was nice. But the fact that he put her down to average because of what she gave herself as far as a ranking, and then the fact that she had a child, didn't take into consideration that she is a business owner, she is a successful business owner, and she herself is making a certain amount of money. None of that can make her above average. I just thought it was very shallow. He didn't take into consideration other things. And to me, the fact that he was so disrespectful when we're in a time where we're talking about uplifting Black women, and just that he felt he had the audacity to speak to her in such a demeaning way. Like, sir, who are you in this poorly lit room with, I don't even know where your show is streamed on. I just like, let's flip the table and talk about you for a second. Are you average at best? You got to be above average given this woman this average, this mean critique. It went around in my friend circle, a group of Black women who were irate. Now, I will say that some of them said he has a point, but his message was lost in the delivery of how he came at her. But I don't even think he had a point. But go ahead.
Okay.
So I want to know, I see your face and you think he had a point.
It's not about the fact that he had a point. So this is the thing. A couple of things. First, I'm going to ask you a question. Does it make any difference to you that there are now videos floating around of Kevin Samuels talking to men the exact same way?
No, it makes no difference to me.
Makes it no, because he's talking. There's a guy that calls him up and he asks the guy, he goes, do you have a big penis? And the guy goes, no. And the guy goes, okay. And he tells the guy, he goes, okay, so you don't have a good job. You don't have this. You don't have a good penis. You have nothing to offer the type of women that you want.
So short-sighted. That's what bothers me about his opinion. He groups all women the same way. You look a certain way, you make a certain amount of money, then you only want this. And that is so unfair to do. Men too.
Can I be honest with you? Is that true? Is that not true though?
I never said my man needed to make 6 figures.
But here's the deal though. Does your man make 6 figures? And I ain't
average.
Does your man make 6 figures? Yes. So
yes, but not every man I've had has.
I know, but the question is not whether or not, see, you're not now criticizing Kevin Samuels. Now you're criticizing the lady because it's the lady that said that the man has to make 6 figures, not Kevin Samuels. If she had said she wants a guy who's a nice bus driver, whatever, she could probably have all those guys she wants. First of all, I don't know who she could have. I didn't see anything wrong with her. So I don't know who she could have, but to me, and I tell brothers this all the time, there's a beauty standard that gets set by Instagram models, right? And then guys, I saw a guy, one of my homeboys, he made a meme, and the meme was he shared a meme, and the meme was, the meme said something like, Black women say that they want Black men, but they're really only talking about these 4 guys. And I think it was like that Kofi from Queen Sugar, Odell Beckham Jr., O'Shea Jackson. This is a couple of years ago. And then like a couple, whoever the hot guys, Michael B. Jordan, whoever the hot guys were at this time. And basically saying us other brothers don't get any play. That's a lie.
That is a lie.
There are women in your city all around the place that would love to go out and date with you. The problem is that Instagram has changed your perception of what beauty is to the point to where if there's a certain type of rap video woman that doesn't give you attention, it makes you feel like you're worthless. When really, the reality of women like that is that their pool of guys to choose from today is so vast that if you are going to appeal to them, should I say, you're going to have to be singularly exceptional in some kind of way. Either you're going to have to be the finest dude, or you're going to have to have the most money, but there's going to have to be something. And that exists on the other side as well. And that is a barrier to happiness. And by the way, men experience that. Men see guys who are in the club, they buying a bunch of bottles, they got all these businesses, they got money, They're all of this stuff like that. And they think, okay, well, that's the kind of, she want a baller. She want this. She want that. It's all about the money with her. It's all about this. And I always wonder, if a woman could date a rich guy, why would she date a broke one? It seems like jumping
I'll
into
tell you
a lot.
why.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. Because you can have dated rich men before, and it depends what your needs are, and there's something that you needed, right?
Mhm.
So a rich man can give you money, and he might be able to give you a certain lifestyle, but can he give you him? Is he going to give you the time and attention and the loyalty and honesty that you want? I'm sorry, if you don't want those things and you're fine with the material things, then you can have that shallow type of relationship. But if you want some type of depth and you want more out of it, then women will turn away from that because they want their relationship to give them something else.
Now you're assuming now that every guy who is rich, or the majority of guys who are rich, don't have any depth to them.
You're right, but I'm not. I'm more so answering your question of why would a woman want somebody broke versus this? And I'm telling you, if she's not getting those things from her guy with money, then maybe getting the other things are more important than the guy being able to be the breadwinner.
Right. And my thing is, if you want an Instagram glamazon, if that's what you want, then it's like anything else. It's like a house or a car or a loan. You have to qualify for that. you do.
That's just a funny way to put it. No, you're right.
It's like anything else. You got to qualify for that. And if you don't qualify for that, why don't you, this is whoever is looking for the person, not lower, because I'm not talking about lowering, readjust kind of what your belief in physical interaction is, your belief in what a relationship is, a real relationship is, and try to make a connection with the real person and not with an image of the person you think you're supposed to be with. Now, I think that that's what Kevin Samuels was saying in a completely...
Don't speak for him.
I'm not. In a completely crass way. For me, whenever I see a brother, anybody talking to a black lady like that, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out. But for the sake of this argument, I'm putting it to the side that I think that because of some of the things that exist now in society, functioning relationships have started to kind of take the back seat to fairy tales. You know what I mean? And the reality is, even when you're in a relationship with somebody, you're not in love with them every hour of every day.
Sure. But at the end of every day, that's a Sex and the City quote.
Is it?
Did you get that from Sex and the City?
Did I? No,
Charlotte says that.
What'd she say?
I can't remember who she's talking to, but she's like, do I love him every second of the day? No. But at the end of every day, I love him.
Sometimes not even at the end. But no. So I think it came off wrong. But if he's telling her, you're setting your expectations, you're setting yourself up to fail with some of your expectations.
Just because she wants a man with 6 figures. She didn't say that he had to look like, like a Morris Chestnut or, or whatever. She didn't say that he had to look and had to have no kids. And all she said was, I want somebody who meets me equally on my profession level. So I don't think that is too much to ask for. Because it ain't like she's not. And that's what my friends and I were saying. We needed to hear the part of what she originally said.
That's what I wanted. Yeah.
Because if I'm just going off of her saying 6 figures, because that's what he kept bringing up, then why is it wrong for her to want somebody who equally matches her professionally? She's not asking for the stars here. She's just asking for someone to be an equal breadwinner or more than her. I don't think that that's far-fetched. I think you could definitely be average and your money makes you go up a couple of numbers.
So do you think, what I would say is, when you think about what's equal to you, I mean, if it's financial, then yeah. The question then becomes, though, is a guy that makes as much money as you interested in you?
Well, that's what Kevin was saying.
Right. And if it's going to be a money thing, then that's a fair question to ask.
If he didn't ask her a question, he told her.
Well, we're assuming that she had already said that.
Well, he told her they will never be interested in you because you look average. That's the problem. It was too black and white. It was either this or that. And there was no room for I wouldn't even call it the exception. It's just, I think there's several people, a lot of people who it doesn't have to be this or that for them. You know, it just depends who you are. He's wild though. That man is wild.
He's super wild. You should have seen him talking to the dude. By the way, the way he spoke to that woman was completely, because there's no reason to deliver your message like that. But that's why it went viral. That's why we're talking about it.
It's everybody black that calls into his show. Because I'd be very curious if he talked to a non-black that way, and if he would talk to a non-average woman that way.
Yeah.
That's what I would want to know.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, it's just like...
That's a man. He hates women. I'm sorry.
Look, can I tell you something? Do you know that there's no such thing as an average human?
Yes, I completely agree with you.
There's no such thing. There's no such thing as an average human. So I want everyone right now in their mind to think about something that exists once in the space of eternity. Think about that. There's only one of them ever made, right? So even if you have like a watch, right? Like a watch, and let's say Richard Mille makes a watch. And Richard Mille puts the watch out and he says, this is the only one of these watches I'm ever making. The watch is going to sell for $1 million. Because all the guys out there, all the ladies out there are going to be like, I have to have that watch because that's the only one of that watch that has ever been made, right? Painting. Monet, Van Gogh, whatever. The reason why those paintings are so valuable that they've painted, because most of those paintings are one of ones. They didn't make 10 paintings and then put them out there, right? When you look at the Superman book, there's a lot of Superman #1s, but the last Superman #1, when there's only one left, is going to be insanely valuable because you can't get another one. I just want everybody listening to this to know, you, whoever you are that watch, you are that book, you are that painting. You are the only one of you
exactly
that has ever existed, which makes you exceedingly rare in the course of eternity of human history and the past. There has never been another you. So it is impossible by that logic for you to be average. You are by definition extraordinary. Extraordinarily rare and extraordinarily special. And the moment that you realize that, you'll stop listening to niggas who are telling you what you can and cannot have.
That's two. That's two niggas. That's two.
Oh, damn.
That's two.
You'll listen. You said it too.
I was repeating what you said.
You said it. You just
I got
said
your attention.
Again.
I got your attention. Oh, they never heard me say it on this podcast. They're going to freak out.
I know. Damn. It's hard. My bad.
At least you're aware of it when you do it. Yeah, ladies, know your self-worth. You might look for advice from men, but don't let men define your self-worth. It's like the kid in school when the teacher tells you you can never be what you just aspire to be. Don't let people do that to you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So look, it's a lot of stuff going on out here in the world, man. It's a lot of stuff that's happening. What?
You mentioned Superman. You asked me what I did this weekend. I meant to tell you. I saw Wonder Woman, the sequel, 1984. It's so good. Were you not a fan of the first one?
No, you know what it is that you're doing. So it's like it's trite. It's almost cute now. What you're doing, you know what you're doing. You know what's happening.
Do I? I just wanted to tell you.
Know.
You asked me what I did, and I forgot. It's such a good movie.
Yeah,
so good. New characters are introduced.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. This is how life goes because, like, life goes this way because people like you, and I'm using that. They get stuff like that. People who couldn't care less. You know what I mean? Like that's how life goes. You know, it's like
I care, and it was for work. By the way, for work.
Did you enjoy it?
It's really good. It's long. It's 2.5 hours, but it's worth it, and it's very good for as a good message for what we're going through right now. Very good.
Really, a good message for what we're going through right now.
Yeah, because of what she's obviously, going against Maxwell Lord, that at this point, and against the cheetah, but what he's doing to the world and what's happening to the world and how she has to fight him is in a different way. I don't want to, without giving too much away. And so it's, there's a lot of great themes about, that are inspiring and uplifting in the movie.
All right. Now that Rachel has triggered me, we will take a break. All right. Rudy Giuliani has the COVID. He's got COVID. What do you think about that?
I think it's only a matter of time. All those people that are rolling around in that Trump circle, it's only a matter of time before they all get it. Did you see that meme, that Saint Hoax thing where it shows him wiping his face off with like a bandana, and then he like wipes his mouth, and then he pats the bandana, and then he wipes it on the woman? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
He's like an incubator for this kind of stuff.
Look, far be it for me to wish any harm on anyone. I'm not wishing any harm on Rudy Giuliani. Hope he recovers from COVID. Like, you know what? I feel the need to make sure people know I'm a decent person by saying stuff like that. But the reality is that I don't necessarily want him to die. I don't want him to die. But his fucking stupidity got him into this situation. He earned it. Of course. Play stupid games, get stupid prizes. So when I saw that, I wasn't at all surprised at it. But the weird thing is, if Rudy Giuliani comes out the other side of this without a serious illness or, with his life, it'll just probably do a lot more damage to the notion that COVID is actually dangerous.
Isn't he hospitalized?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen it.
I saw the headline and I kept scrolling, but I thought somebody said he was hospitalized. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, the reality is that a guy like Rudy Giuliani or Chris Christie or Donald Trump or whomever just has access to cutting edge therapeutic technologies that you won't have. So if you're judging your ability to survive COVID by their ability to survive COVID, you are miscalculating because you're in America and you're not them. But yeah, so that is along the same token of just the wild list of pardons that could be happening, which is Rudy Giuliani, Ivanka Trump, which these would be preemptive pardons, and Joe Exotic, and then himself. Those are some of the people that Trump is looking to pardon. Some of the people are saying that Rudy Giuliani is going so hard for Trump so that he can make sure that he obtains this pardon, this preemptive pardon before anything that would happen. There's also news today that the president is looking at potentially throwing a big-time shindig. What? Did you see this? No. Yeah, so the president, it looks like, might be throwing a big shindig. I'm breaking news on Rachel right now. A president throwing a big-time shindig timed at the exact same time as the inauguration. What is the party, the theme? What is it called? Just a party? It's going to be a big rally to announce his 2024 candidacy. Oh, that isn't surprising. So so that tells me that obviously, if we thought that the Trump nightmare was over, it's not. It's just moved out of the White House. But are you surprised? Like, haven't you come to expect this at this point? Yeah, but I mean, I think that I'm not surprised at what President Trump is doing. I'm surprised at the almost wholehearted endorsement he's getting from the GOP. I have to admit, I didn't have much respect for other Republicans, but the respect that I did have, I overshot it. Now, I can't say with any sincerity that on the left things would be any different, but I gotta believe that they would. I gotta believe that they would. The way that things are happening right now in Washington and the way people are tucking their head in the sand, the president is doing everything he can to undermine American systems that have really buoyed the union for hundreds of years now, and they don't even care. Because it doesn't affect them, right? And if they go against it, it does affect them. Because let's not forget, almost half the country voted for Trump. So this is all about them protecting their seat and their place in Congress. This is all about them pleasing their constituents at this point. That's what this is. I thought too, I mean, what was it? I think I heard today only 20-something members of Congress have actually said Joe Biden won the election, even though he has at this point achieved enough electoral votes to be declared the president.
Yeah.
It's not shocking to me. And I think that's why Trump feels like he can run again for 2024, because he still has a strong base. He still has people that are supporting him and his ideals, because the things that he's doing against us that affect us don't affect these people. And it's all about self-preservation. It's all about them protecting themselves at this point.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just weird. It's just weird to hear America first from so many people who put themselves before so many things
that's
that
what
are
that
cornerstone
means.
to the
They're
country.
America. That you want to talk about fixing slogans? America first doesn't mean America, like all of us. It's my America first. That's what the slogan should be.
Right. Well, yeah, we'll see. I think that the peaceful transition of power and preserving the will of democracy is something that should be, across the board. But hey, I'm wrong.
You're wrong. Because the election was rigged, Van. That's why you're wrong.
That's true.
Democracy, it wasn't carried out with the election. If that's how you're thinking, then why would you change that at this point with anything?
I am interested to see what would happen if Joe Exotic was set loose.
Is that real? Okay. Is that really being considered? I know people are saying it's a possibility that Joe Exotic would be pardoned, but is that actually something that President Trump is considering?
Maybe. Look, I'm not saying that Joe Exotic, I'm not sure whether or not it's being considered or not, but I will say this. I'm not saying that Joe Exotic is a good guy. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not saying that Joe Exotic was a good guy.
All right.
I want to make sure everybody knows that. I'm not saying that Joe Exotic was a good guy. That's not what I'm saying. But. But. This is what I'm saying. Because if you look at Joe Exotic and you look at everything that was going on with Joe Exotic and you look at all of the different things, the treatment of the animals and all of that stuff like that, and the fact that they had those big cats down there in the first place, which is something I completely detest. I'm not saying Joe Exotic is a good guy. I am saying it's very easy to watch Tiger King.
Come on now.
And come away with the notion that Joe Exotic got a raw deal.
He plotted to kill Carol Baskin.
Okay,
Allegedly.
Well, let's talk about Carol Baskin.
No.
Let's talk about Carol Baskin. Let's talk about the fact that there are some things out there with Carol. Well, to me,
does that mean she deserves to be plotted and killed?
Look, there's a
plotted
movie
against and killed.
There's a movie called Road to Perdition, and I love the movie. Tom Hanks and Paul Newman are in that. Rest in peace, Paul Newman. I think that was one of his last big roles.
Whose name is this in the movie?
What happens in this movie is that Paul Newman's son, played by Daniel Craig, right? So they go on a hit at the beginning of the movie. Tom Hanks and Paul Newman's son, they work for Paul Newman. And Tom Hanks' son stows away in the trunk of the car.
Yes.
And he sees the hit. And they see him because he gets scared. He runs away, whatever. They see him. Tom Hanks talks to him. Paul Newman talks to him. Everybody talks to him. They think everything's cool. Except for Daniel Craig, who is, once again, the guy's son. He goes to Tom Hanks' house, kills his son, kills his wife. Not the same son that saw it.
I was going to say, yeah, I don't remember
kills
that part.
the other son and the wife, right?
Okay.
So Tom Hanks goes on the warpath. He's got to kill Daniel Craig. He's got to leave. Road to Perdition. They got to go up there. They're running now because everybody's gunning for them. Great movie. I love the movie. There's a part in the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where Tom Hanks says to Paul Newman something about, being a killer. Paul Newman looks back at Tom Hanks and says, Mike, there are only killers in this room. Meaning there are no rules because we're all killers. There are only killers in this room. So if it's good for you, if it's good for... No, he doesn't say. He says he killed Michael and he killed his wife. He goes, there are only killers in this room. That's the way that it goes. To me...
This is not the same thing.
That's kind of how how I feel. That's kind of how I feel. It's only killers in this tiger pen. Cause it's hard for me to feel bad for Carol Baskin when I completely believe that Carol Baskin killed her husband and fed him to a tiger.
But that's what you believe. The woman was not convicted of that, okay?
That's
She
true.
was not charged and convicted. Joe Exotic, there is proof that he plotted against Carol and was on a mission to kill her. I mean, and you want this man to be pardoned just so you can watch Tiger King Part 2.
That's not what I said.
That's what
I didn't say I want. I said it would be interesting to see what would happen with Joe Exotic back out on these streets. Because you know who the last person that wants Joe Exotic out? It's Carol Baskin.
Carol Baskin, that's
because
right.
Carol Baskin knows that Joe Exotic would have all of the media and public support to get to the bottom of what happened down there in Florida.
Will Dancing with the Stars offered Joe Exotic a spot?
They should.
They gave it to Carol.
They put murderers on the show. You know what I mean?
Wait, who did they put on the show?
Carol Baskin.
Oh, stop!
They might as well do OJ next. Like I'm saying, do OJ. And
Can you imagine?
They should do a whole Dancing with the Stars. Just people that we know did it. Carol Baskin, OJ, Robert Blake. Just a whole Dancing with the Stars. Klaus von Bülow, I think he died. But just a whole Dancing with the Stars of people who we it could be Dancing with the Stars, Murderers Row. That's a good idea.
I'd watch it probably.
That's a good idea.
That's so bad. Look at us. We're like, we would support it. So bad. So bad.
People used to say that to me when I was in high school and the whole OJ trial was going on. And they were like, yeah, OJ. I was like, yeah, just to let y'all know, OJ killed 2 people. I don't know if you guys know this. Yeah, you'd be excited about it, but OJ killed 2 people.
Definitely.
So, yeah, for sure it did. He's playing golf right now as we speak. Let's get into the batch recap. Okay. Let's go ahead right now and get into the batch recap of this particular episode. Let's make sure that we know. First of all, I thought it was I'm going to start with a couple of things I didn't like. Okay.
Okay.
Thought it was in very poor taste to startle Easy like that. Yeah, I didn't like it. I didn't like
startled.
Yeah, she ran out on Easy like that. Just the way that Easy was treated in this episode, I thought was piss poor. I thought everybody got more respect than Easy did. From the beginning, she's telling ghost stories to Easy. It's like she never really took Easy seriously.
No, she didn't.
That's whack.
So
I'm going to ask her about that.
There's always, and she won't say this, but she's still under contract. One of us is, one of us is not. There's always an episode where you got to send somebody home on the date. Mm-hmm. I don't know how it was for Tayshia, but I got to personally choose who I didn't see bring into the end, it's like, I'm not going to waste your time anymore. That's what Easy was. From the moment she gave him the date card, she was always going to send him home. There was nothing that happened on the date. There's nothing he did wrong. That man was always going home.
Whack.
But a fun date. I would have had fun. I would have loved to taken somebody on that date.
Fun date, ghost stories and stuff like that.
I like scary stuff like that. You know, like you get scared, you could pretend to be like, oh, hold me, you know?
Nah. Generalized anxiety disorder. No, don't jump at me. I'll put that goddamn shotgun on you. I'm telling you right now, don't jump at me. Because it's not gonna be my fault. Jump at me, I'm gonna extend that right hand on you. Pow. And then I'm gonna be like, yo, like, never fails. That's how some of the best fights between me and my sisters and brothers started. They jumping out, scared. Now I'm crying, but now we gotta go. Like, you know, we made me cry. We gotta fight. But anyway, so who was the guy that had the long drawn out story of him getting on that dope and going to the bank and
Zach C.
God damn. Like, Zach C had it rough, bro.
Yeah. That's probably one of the most intense stories I've heard on The Bachelor.
He completely destroyed her with that story. She had to give him the rose. I'm serious,
I think
man.
she really likes him, but that was heavy. I mean, he could have told one part of it and it would have been enough.
Right.
He gave it all. I mean, kudos to him for being vulnerable enough to share that in front of everybody and not afraid of being, judged. You never know how someone's going to take that.
Let me tell you something. You want to know what happened with that?
What happened?
I was so raw emotionally that after that, I saw a commercial for the Ronald McDonald House and I donated. He had me.
Good. The story did
yeah,
something.
it worked. First of all, donate to the Ronald McDonald House. Those kids, you need your help. By the way, I've done stuff with the Ronald McDonald House. Fantastic organization. All right.
Mm-hmm.
The strongest kids, the strongest parents. My God, that you have ever seen before in your life. Donate to the Ronald McDonald House. It's a good cause. But I hadn't donated in a while. And I think ABC played me because it was this, and then it goes right to a commercial for the Ronald McDonald House. And I'm like, okay, now I got to give money to the Ronald McDonald House. So I gave it to the Ronald McDonald House.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool. That I kind of dug. The wedding marriage date was stupid.
Yeah.
I don't like that. That's the kind of stuff that turns me off with the show because that's creepy as hell. That's the kind of stuff that makes me not want to watch the next show. That's creepy as hell.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the photographer was the star of that moment, but it was uncomfortable. And I think that's what they were trying to do because both of them had been married before. So I think that they were trying to make it an awkward date and sing. Yeah, but I would have hated that date. Right. Hated it. Right. I didn't have anything like that.
What was the dude that took all of his clothes off?
Ben.
I hate him. Ben gotta go. Ben to me, that was the corniest thing I've seen. That was
why?
Because wasn't nobody taking their clothes off. They thought that they were gonna have to take their clothes off, but then they really didn't when they were doing the painting and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But wasn't nobody taking their clothes off. The fact that he did that, these guys, all of these guys are fucked in the head.
Well, it wasn't that. It was that he took off his clothes and then said nothing. Right? I was like, oh, you're gonna I took off my clothes because of blah, 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 blah. You were just
say some stuff. He was like, I'm here
he was
for you.
I'm more than just outside. I want you to get to know the inside. And that was it. And I was like, okay, Ben, you might as well have just stood there and threw your hands in the air. I mean, that would have said more than anything.
And I'll tell you something, that's so weird. Because that only in The Bachelor would that work. It's like, I want you to see the real me. So take a look at that dick.
I thought that was the easiest thing he could have done, right? Take off your clothes. I thought that was the easiest thing. And then
she cried. She cried after. She got all because he was willing to stand there and stuff like that. I will say this: just getting fully nude in the light like that is G. Because if your body has been through the ringer, then being fully nude just in the full light, because even I create some angles. There's some. You know what I'm saying? I make some angles. I might pop a shoulder out. Look at that. Look at that shoulder. Don't look at the midsection. Look at that shoulder. That shoulder right there. See, this area up here, the shoulder pec area, off the chain. I was blessed with great shoulders and all of this up here.
Okay.
And then it progressively gets worse. You know what I'm saying? Then it gets better. Then it progressively gets worse. You know what I'm saying? So
Shut up.
Me, I make some, I'm like, yo, look at my traps. Don't look at that extra titty meat. So just to stand there in the light, I was like, yo, this dude a G. He really was a G, but it still was corny. Last thing I'll talk about just in my recap. Good episode of The Bachelor. Good episode of The Bachelorette.
Okay, good. It brought you back. Good.
Good episode of Bachelorette. A lot of people thought that I would have something negative to say about Bennett and how Bennett, not to me, I thought he was fantastic. I thought he was fantastic. I thought Bennett came with some props. Bennett came with some props, and Bennett was kind of a gangster. Bennett gave him a bandana. That could be looked at as an act of war. You know what I mean? That could be looked at as an act of war. Yo, here's a bandana. This signifies this, you from the country, whatever. Nah, when Bennett first did that, I was like, yo, Bennett kind of putting the gauntlet down, but then he gave him a book and all of that stuff like that. So, but they let us go without telling us which one of those guys was getting sent home.
Exactly. It's called a cliffhanger. You're going to get to know what happens next week or Tuesday in this case.
Tayshia better not send Bennett home, man.
What are you going to do? How are you going to react if Bennett is no longer with us?
Go on a I Hate Tayshia campaign.
Well,
Easy work. Have you seen, so that's the Bachelor recap. Like, I enjoyed the show. Okay. It was good. I'm glad that, I just think that certain things bother me. The easy thing bothers me. But it was overall a good show. I just gotta be honest with you. The show should really be shorter, man. I'm not, it's like, that's so crazy to me. Like, there are different eras of one show. Like, one Bachelorette show has different eras. There's an era of, it's literally like a mini movie every time. And that's a lot. I'm not doing the next one. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not doing it.
You're not going to do the first Black Bachelor?
I gotta do that one. God damn.
You got one more in you. You need to see it from a different perspective so you can see the women when the women are contestants.
Right. Do they get crazy?
Yeah.
Crazy wild?
Absolutely. Absolutely, they do.
Okay. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
they all definitely play their roles. The show is definitely too long. I'll give you that. But I think you're going to enjoy, and I told you this before, this week, I believe it's this week, you've got the Men Tell All. So you get the reunion show, which is always good.
Do the women on The Bachelor, is there ever any, do they ever twerk or anything like that? Has there been twerk situation?
They don't show it.
They don't show the twerk.
Because we do. So they don't show it.
The Bachelor is basically like True Kitchen and Cocktails in Dallas. Like, it's a twerk-free zone.
It's
Chris Harrison.
Zone. Unless they play, throw that ass in a circle.
Yeah, throw that ass in a circle. How do you feel about the rash of white girls who are twerking now?
I mean, what's wrong with them? I didn't like that. I don't like you taking twerking as if it's something that you invented. But I have no problem with you twerking. Like, I can remember when it came a big deal, when Miley Cyrus put out that video and she was in that costume and she pulled it off and people were like, oh my God, that was Miley Cyrus. What was she doing? She was twerking. And so it's like as if they created this, thing called twerking, when it's like, that's just how people been dancing for as long as I can remember. That's my only issue with it. Twerk all you want. I don't care, but don't act like you created it.
It was the song, actually, it's so crazy that it's so crazy the way things become a big deal so many years after. Because then when I was in college, it was Whistle While You Twerk.
Dun,
it
dun,
was,
dun, 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 dun.
What happened to the Yin Yang twins?
To the Yin Yang in this thing.
Yin Yang, they had several hits though.
A lot.
I'll tell you
it defined college.
Yeah, tell you a quick story real quick. So we're in the we're in Carruthers. We're in the dorms at Louisiana Tech University. It's me, my boy Ryan, my boy Justin, my homeboy AD Vito, who was a linebacker on the football team. Big, but one of these guys was just like a big, just amazing dude to hang around with. Everybody loved AD Vito, right? And we all in there, we listening to music, whatever. Tank is in there, a couple other dudes, and we just putting it on. And all of a sudden, because Ryan had a playlist, we getting ready because we about to have some people over and stuff like that. And Whistle While You Twerk comes on. And AD, who at this point is, I say AD is about 6'2", 240, all muscle linebacker, lost his fucking mind. He started shaking ass like and I was and we were when I say that, we were like fucking, like everybody, it was scary in a way because we were frozen. Yeah. We were frozen. I was
except for him.
I was like, what is this nigga doing? He pulled, like, he was like, oh,
so he put his hands on his knees?
Put his hands on his knees, lifted his shirt up.
Put a hump in his back?
Put a hump in his back, lifted his shirt up, and was really, and his shit was jiggling because he got a big football butt. And I was like, you don't really want to go.
You just looked.
I'm like, yo, man. Yo, I'm like, Ryan, cut that shit off, dog. Make this nigga stop, bro. That's 3 of them, by the way. I can't stop. I'm really gonna try to stop. I'm like, yo, man, turn this off, bro. Like, what's going on? And it was this thing. And we cut the music off. And when we cut the music off, rage came across his face. Yo, man, why you cut my song off, dog? Put that back on, bro. That's that whistle while you twerk, dog. That's that whistle while you twerk. That's that Yin Yang Twins. I'm like, hey, man, why don't you let this dude shake his ass before he tears the dorm apart? And he really just sat there and was really
So y'all
wiggling.
press play again.
That was our guy. You know, we pressed play and AD shook his
And y'all
ass.
continued to watch while
Didn't
he
continue
danced,
to watch.
while he danced for y'all.
And we didn't continue to watch. We turned on 2K and we tried to concentrate on that as one of our frat brothers was shaking his ass. So it's crazy. And by the way, here's another thing that you guys don't understand. It's a lot of thugs from down there in New Orleans. A lot of thugs. New Orleans, shout out to New Orleans. They're my cousins from Baton Rouge. They're my cousins down there in New Orleans. But it's not uncommon with the bounce culture in New Orleans to see a man really getting it in with the twerking and the shaking.
I dated a dude from New Orleans.
Yeah.
I never saw him do that.
I'm not saying all of them do. I'm not saying all of them do at all.
And he was a twin, and I never saw the twin either.
But I'm saying it's not uncommon if you hit
like
some of that
Big Frida bounce.
Big Frida bounce, some of that Katie Red, any of that stuff like that monkey on the dick. If you throw any of that stuff on,
listen, did you, Van? Have you ever done it, or do you still do it?
No, I haven't. No, I have never. But I'm just saying. Okay, cool. We'll save that. I'm looking forward to the Bachelor.
I feel like if I start whistling,
shut up,
you
man.
cut loose.
Look. Listen. Thank you for Tayshia for coming on the show today.
Yeah, I'm happy you got to meet her.
Yeah.
Van.
Heritage is a complicated thing.
Van. You can't ask her. You can't ask her to. Listen.
Can't ask her to what?
She's got to represent both.
That's good for her.
Yeah.
Look. I personally, as a younger man, when Tiger Woods did the cock-a-blazing thing,
because he made that shit
I was off Tiger Woods. But I will tell you this, though. This is the thing about that. Tayshia's a lovely woman. She's in control of her destiny. That's good for her. I will tell you this. The fact of the matter is you don't get to choose that shit. Tayshia as the Bachelorette can be Mexican, first of all, she can be. No, she is.
Yeah.
She is. Shout out to all my Latinx people out there. She is Mexican. She is black and Mexican. Mexican and black. She is both of those things. And she has a rich heritage in both of those. If Tayshia runs into a Best Buy and grabs a TV and runs out of the Best Buy, running down the street, I bet you she'll be black then.
No, absolutely.
I bet, so you know.
I think it was context, though. I think it was just important because people will say to her, and I want to give her credit. People will say to her, what does it feel like to be the second black bachelorette? And for her, it's like, listen, I am black, and that is true, but I'm half something else. I know when you see me, you see a black woman, and I own that. But at the same time, I don't want to neglect my mother's side of the family and what I am. That's where I just wanted to give her a platform to say that.
She got the two littest ethnic groups. You got black people and you got Mexicans. Shout out to my people out here. They fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? Barrio Saints I'm wearing right now. This is my man Diso. Shout out to all of. She got the two littest. She got the best food, the best culture, the best dancing, the best religion, all of that stuff. And I said that the way I meant it. The two best. All right? You know what I'm saying? Okay. About to get some angry DMs.
Mess up some thought warriors about to be upset.
Thought warriors going to be like, hey, man, I'm Romanian. Our shit is off the chain, too. You don't know anything about it. Have you ever been to Denmark? Completely different.
Define you the way you want to define you. Van's words. Take them and use them against them.
But just know that them sisters.
So would you have been mad if she said Blexican?
That'd have been aggravating.
But she didn't.
That'd have been aggravating. All right. That's enough for us, man. We are all done here. Take your thinking caps off, but do not stop learning. It is I, Van Lathan.
It's I, Rachel Lindsay.
We'll see y'all next week. Well, no, we'll see y'all next time, not next week. Later on this week, we'll see.
Yeah, that's right.